it is hard and tiring, but I find it's really worthwhile to know that you still get to keep that part of your identity, that you are still an athlete even after having kids. As a female player and as a mother or a future mother, I really think you deserve it. We really deserve to have well-rounded lives. My name's Mish and I live in Melbourne in Australia on a small farm with my partner, 2 children, my brother, his partner and their child. I sort of see myself as having 4 jobs. The one I get paid for is working as an editor. My brother and I run a book publishing company together. And then my unpaid work is working on the farm, is being an athlete, and is being a mum. So I try and balance those 4 things. I started playing when I was 19 at university. I'm 35 now, so I've been playing quite a long time. I met a friend that I went to school with, and she said, our ultimate frisbee team for the university national championship doesn't have enough women. Will you come and play? And I said, oh, I'd love to. What is that? And she explained the game to me, and I said, okay, great, I'll play. She said, oh, it's in 2 weeks' time in another state. Is that okay? And I'm like, yep, I'll come. So I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to play. I had never caught a frisbee or thrown a disc before, but I went along to this tournament and had an amazing time and got really connected into the community. And I never looked back. I have been playing ever since. When I then had children afterwards, in 2019 and 2021, everything from here has felt like a bonus, that I don't need anything. I'm playing because I want to do it, and it's a bonus, and I love it. Even though I felt complete with what I've done, I still knew that I wanted to keep playing, but I just felt a lot more freedom about which opportunities I would choose. For me, playing World Games was important because I wanted to know that I could get back to that highest level. And also it was really important to me that other people could see that you could do that after having children. So both of those things were big driving forces for me to try out for World Games. We wouldn't get much time together as a team, so it was mostly focused on your own fitness. My training sessions varied a lot in quality and intensity, depending on whether I had to bring the kids with me or not. So I did a lot of sessions where I was trying to balance doing some shuttles and then quickly distracting the kids with some food and then doing some more shuttles. And I also did a lot of training, particularly with my old child, who's now 3.5, trying to include him. So if I was throwing a disc, he could run and bring it back to me, or he would follow me around shuttles, or I would use him for lifting training. So it was hard having them there. They definitely interrupted my training a lot, but also it was very meaningful to me to have them be part of it and to know that they were watching me train really hard and seeing that as a good example. Yeah, so we did about 6 months of our own personal training, and then we came together for the selection camp in January. Then the Australian national season runs from about January until April. And we were expected to be playing nationals as part of our preparation for World Games, obviously. So I actually decided to play in the men's division, in the open division. Firstly, because I like to motivate myself by choosing a goal that is a bit ridiculous, because then you have to do it, you have to make it work. I thought I was just going to lose some of my strengths from the women's game playing in the open. But actually I did, but also I found some new things that I'd never been able to use in the women's game. So a lot of small space movement and really subtle movements could actually get me free in the men's game. And I had a lot of fun doing that because, one, it was very satisfying to find that I had another set of skills that I could use. And number two, my team absolutely loved it whenever I did something that tricked the opposition's defense or made them look a bit silly, because I'm hardly moving, getting these fast male. So it was very rewarding in that sense. And I think the final thing that playing in the opens division really helped me with was, naturally I had a lot of insecurities about coming back from having 2 children and whether I would be good enough to play at world games and at world clubs, like whether I could get back to that level. And playing in the men's division basically made me get over all of those insecurities and go, well, what I've got is what I've got, and I'm gonna find ways to be successful in this environment no matter what my fitness level is. I've always enjoyed thinking very deeply about the game and about technical skills and about movement patterns and things like that. And sometimes if you just play in the same environment again and again, you play only the same way. So for me, I just love the idea of hybridizing different styles of play to build these really incredibly technically skilled but also fluid game styles. So that's kind of my dream, is to keep playing like that. And I very much think that all different teams and different cultures all can bring something valuable, but also none of them are perfect on their own. Kind of impossible. People will always have different opinions and different preferences. I try and have an attitude of, it's an experiment what you're doing on the field, and if it doesn't work, well, that's just a piece of feedback. And I bring that into the coaching I do a lot as well, to stop people thinking, oh, the stack's too deep or the stack's in the wrong place. I would say to them, okay, if your stack is this deep, what would you do about it? Or if your stack is an amorphous, like mushy blob instead of a proper stack, what would you do about it? So it's more this mindset of just play the game and find a solution to whatever's in front of you. I think it's intellectually very satisfying to play like that. My goals from here, I would like to keep playing Ultimate, and I would like to still play at the elite level. So maybe the next Worlds campaign in 2024, I'd love to play in the mixed division for that, which I haven't done before. It's also really important to me to show people that you can keep playing after you've had kids. And I think playing in both the Japanese community and the Colombian community, a lot of young players were really surprised by how many Australian players kept playing. Our captain of the World Games team in 2017 was 44 with 3 kids. And her name's Sarah Wentworth, and she's been one of the top players for a long time. And for all of us in Australia, that's normal. And I mean, not everyone comes back at the World Games level, but it's normal to keep playing after kids. And so I just always assumed when I had kids, if I wanted to keep playing, I would. But I've realized that's not the case everywhere. And so it's been really important to me, particularly having built connections in these communities overseas, to show that you can choose to keep playing if you want. You definitely don't have to, but you can choose that. It is hard and tiring, but I find it's really worthwhile to know that you still get to keep that part of your identity, that you are still an athlete even after having kids. I really looked up to those players so much when I was a young player. And I hope that I can help show other people that they can also do it. I think the first step is just believing that, and then the second step is trying to make choices or set up your life in a way, or build relationships with your partner or your family. They also believe you have a right to keep playing and that they support you in that. So that's pretty important to me, and was one of the real driving forces of playing World Games and World Clubs. And I was quite nervous actually playing with Revolution again in this World Clubs. And so I had the two children, 3.5-year-old and 18-month-year-old, at the tournament, at the accommodation the whole time. And the first 2 days together with the team, I was so worried that my kids were interrupting all the team meetings, which they were, and that maybe they were a distraction and people might be finding them annoying. And the team very quickly reassured me that all of those things were just my worries, but they all loved having the kids there, and they thought it was so incredible that I'd brought the kids and was playing with them. So I guess as a goal, I want to keep playing at a high level and bring the kids along and have them be part of it, and yeah, show people that it is possible and it is worthwhile as well. I have a lot of respect for the Japanese ultimate community and the culture, and I really hope a lot of the young players coming through and players having kids now do think that they can keep playing and think they deserve that. And when you're, finding a partner or finding support for that, maybe it's tricky to find people who already believe that. But what you want to do is find people who are open-minded to it. So when you say, I want to do this, I want to still have big goals and important things in my life after having kids, they're saying, oh, I'd never considered that, but of course you should. And so basically being brave enough to say, I see this different way of living or building my life, and I want to ask for it and to expect other people to support me in that, because I really think you deserve it as a female player and as a mother or a future mother. We really deserve to have well-rounded lives. You are free to have your own hobby or sport as well. And so going back to playing might be playing league once a week or 1 or 2 fun tournaments a year. I think it can look very different for different people, but it's knowing that you have a right to ask for that and to make time for yourself. I think it's very easy to just follow a pathway that is the most common one, whether it's finishing school, then university, then job. But I think there's a lot of value in stopping and asking that question. What do I actually want to do? How do I want to live? That's very important.